Hi, my name is Tori, and I am the artist behind Tori's Trinkets. I strive to make modern statement jewelry that aims to heal your inner child, one silly pair of earrings at a time. An average day in my life, I wake up, make coffee at home, head over to the studio, and do creating inventory, managing emails, trying to stay on top of making flyers for things that I need to promote, social media, all of that good stuff. And then on weekends, I always work events. And then random nights of the week, I'll do necklace workshops where I teach people how to use their creative juices to make some jewelry and fun stuff. So every day is a little bit different, which is kind of my favorite part about this job. It doesn't ever really get monotonous. The amount of stuff that I need to get done depends on what's coming out soon. I like to give myself deadlines, so I will make a prototype of everything and then post it and announce the date that everything will be ready by. What needs to be restocked, I have about 7 or 8 designs I always have stocked because they're my best sellers and I feel are the most representative of my brand as a whole. So how much I need to restock and how much I need to work on in a day depends on how busy I was at the last market, how much I need to prepare for the next market. My very first collection of earrings that I made when I first got my Glowforge, which is my laser cutter that cuts all of the acrylic to make my earrings, was a Valentine's Day collection. And I thought it'd be really funny to have 2 different earrings in there. One was a red lollipop that said dump him, because I think that's just funny for Valentine's Day. And then the second one that has lasted the test of time is a fluorescent pink shrimp. The first sale I made technically was through Instagram. A girl bought a pair of my resin earrings for $8. I charge much more now because I have a lot more experience, but at the time I was just testing the waters and seeing what I could get away with and what I wanted to lean towards and find my style and my voice. The first day that my website launched, I think I made 19 sales, and I remember all 19 people who bought from me because they were already people who were very close to me in my life, and I'm very appreciative of their support. I do a lot of markets. I set up on State Street during the Dane County Farmers Market every Saturday, which runs from April till November, which is 27 Saturdays of the 52 weeks of the year. I average around 2 events a week during the summertime because I have other events like the night markets or hosting my own workshops. I count as an event, just doing a lot of community events. I joke because people will come up to me at markets a lot and be like, "Oh, I see you around." And I say, "Yeah, you've probably seen me everywhere. I set up anywhere they let me." So as a small business owner, it is crucial to have multiple sources of revenue. So not only do I do events, which is still currently my main revenue stream, in-person events, but I am trying to spread out a little bit away from those because they are very physically demanding, and mostly in the summer, which is the hottest time of the year. I do wholesale to boutiques and stores across the country. I do consignment in I think 7 shops around the area. I've started hosting my own workshops so that people can have an interactive experience and learn how to do what I do. So my main expenses, my studio rent is actually pretty affordable because I am renting out of the Madison Enterprise Center, which is run by the Commonwealth Development of Madison, which is a nonprofit, and they aim to create a space where people can have affordable rent. Every event that I vend at, I have to pay an event fee. So a lot of times people don't even realize how much we pay just to set up and be there. I pay for my material costs, obviously. To be a city street vendor, I have to pay for licensing fees. My Glowforge, I had to take a loan out to pay for, but it is paid off now. Because I work weekends for events, I try really hard to take Sunday, Monday off. If I work a Sunday event, then I take Monday, Tuesday off. I used to not take days off, or I used to work half days, or I would be like, oh, I'll just work 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes would turn into 2 hours or whatever. So I'm trying really hard to be more disciplined in not working 2 days a week. And then the days of the week that I am here working, I try to go with the flow because I make my own schedule. So if I come here and think I'm gonna work 8 hours today, and then after 4 hours, I'm so tired, then I'll just leave. And if I come here and I'm only gonna work 4 hours today just to get myself to come here, and then I get here and I find a groove, and then I'm here 8 to 10 hours, I can do that. So I have the flexibility to make my own calls day by day, but I do tend to try to stick to 6 to 8 hours, 5 days a week. So every year I go through slow periods and I go through peak periods of the year. And when I first started, I wasn't saving like I needed to. And so that kind of put me in a bit of a pickle when I got to my first slow period, because they're not just like short spurts. January through April is dead. There's no sales. It's so hard. There's no markets. I try to do online sales, but people aren't really shopping because they're all burnt out from Christmas shopping. So that time of the year, I have to plan far in advance to be able to save and have enough funding to get through, not just to pay my bills, but to fund the business, to buy supplies that I need, and all of that stuff through those times of the year. And then April through like September is peak event season. So I'm making the bulk of my income for the year during those months, but I can't spend the money that I'm getting in as much as I want to. As a small business owner, you kind of have to hustle a lot for a while. I'm going into year 4 of this business, year 3 of full-time working this business. And I have noticed more of a work-life balance. I do have a lot of things in place now that I didn't have in place a few years ago, that I can kind of have things running behind the scenes while I'm not physically at work, like having my online shop run or doing online ads or things that like I don't have to be the person physically doing everything all the time, every point of the day. But I do find that I have a lot more work-life balance. One, the studio, being able to leave my house and have like a 15-minute commute and come into a workplace that is only dedicated for work, has been significantly beneficial to my business. I do wish I knew more about the administrative side of being a small business, getting like permits and getting like all of the paperwork that I need to be a functioning business, doing taxes. I wish I knew more about taxes going into this. I did pay what I thought I needed to the first 2 years, and then I was actually behind. And so now I am paying double taxes this year, which is brutal, but necessary. And so I think if I could go back in time and start over, I would have gotten a small business accountant as soon as possible, because I thought I could do everything by myself, because I'm a DIY girly till I die. If I can do something myself, I will, to my detriment. And so I think going into small business, you don't need to know every facet about running a business to run a business. I can run my business and hand off the reins to people who know a lot more about business than I do, and I can do the creative stuff. Since you control your hours and you make all the shots and you are in charge of everything, you have to be kind of on top of your stuff. And I am not always on top of my stuff. And so I think a lot of misconceptions are like, oh, you're your own boss, so you can do whatever you want. And technically I can do whatever I want, but doing whatever I want is not actually beneficial to the business. So a lot of times I have to do stuff that I really don't want to do just because I need to do it. I think the advice that I would give to my younger self is you don't need to be as much of a people pleaser. Even like my first year of being a small business owner, I would say yes to everything. I would say yes to anything anyone offered me. If people wanted to do customs, I would say yes. And honestly, the more I say no, the more empowered I feel, and the more I'm able to take my business a lot further, because I'm able to say no to projects that don't benefit me, and I'm able to say yes to projects that I know will benefit me and be like very good for me. And I think growing up as a people pleaser and being a woman where you're expected to kind of take on everything for everyone and say yes to anything that people offer you, and I should be grateful that people are offering me things, just kind of relearning that in my brain of like, you don't need to say yes to everyone. In fact, sometimes saying yes to people can hurt both of you, because they might not get what they wanted and you might not have wanted to do it in the first place, and now you're both upset. Part of the reason that I made the jump from a stable 9-to-5 job into business ownership, one was it was so much better for my mental health, not having the anxiety that I had at work to like fulfill my job duties. I also was able to create my own work-life balance.